Culture Minister John King is asking the artistic community on the island to be patient as his ministry works to address many of their needs. He was speaking during a function at the Caribbean Gallery of Art in Speightstown. The need for a national art gallery was raised again last night. Mr. King says while government is anxious to see a home for art on the island, there's simply nowhere to put it right now.
Since coming into the ministry, I've heard a lot about, Block A and Block B, all these different things that can be done. But the truth of the matter is that there's a lot of deconstructing that we have to do in terms of how you get access to buildings and all that stuff to do these things. And that's the process that we're going through now. It's a long, hard process, but believe you me, whenever we get that sorted out and we get the buildings that have been earmarked for such in our hands, we would do that.
There was also a request for a tax break for businesses to encourage them to purchase local art. Minister King says even those types of incentives are already in place, but there appears to be a disconnect between the artistic community and the official channels.
We've been on a mission to really begin to bridge those gaps. And so coming into spaces like this and getting to meet with the artists themselves and their representatives is important to me, because once we begin to form these alliances, then it's easier for us to discuss the problems and find solutions together to move forward.
The Thorne Commission on Local Governance is preparing to move into a new phase of consultations as it starts to lay the groundwork for the People's Assemblies. This revelation from Chairman Ralph Thorne as he led some commission members to a meeting with media managers this morning. He says they have had 3 productive consultations so far with the Committee on Social Justice, the Trade Union Movement, and most recently, permanent secretaries from all ministries. He says they've also had talks with a number of private agencies, all with a view to coming up with a structure for the assemblies. The next step, according to the Christchurch South MP, is to start talking to members of the general public. So from next week, the Commission will begin a series of town hall meetings, starting with the Graydon Seeley Secondary on November 6th, Darrell Jordan on the 13th, Princess Margaret on the 27th, and West Terrace Primary on December 4th.
We're hoping that those public consultations will allow the public to give an input, because we've always been saying that nothing is written in stone. We have a basic structure as to how the People's Assemblies will be constituted. But as I say, that's a very basic structure. It is our desire that when we reach a final model, a final product, that the public would have contributed to the final structure. We cannot do this, we do not wish to do this unless the public makes an input. In fact, it would be quite ironic if we're setting up a system of local government and the public should not have a say in to how that local government should function.
Barbados is among several Caribbean states that have agreed to cooperate to establish a Caribbean program for sargassum. The program will model and monitor, establish logistics, consider utilization, and appropriate disposal of sargassum. Leaders and representatives from the Association of Caribbean States, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, and the Organization of American States signed a declaration to this effect at the first international conference on sargassum organized by the Regional Council of Guadeloupe. The Caribbean program for sargassum will be financed by the European Territorial Cooperation Fund and led by Guadeloupe. With just a few weeks to go before the Yuletide season, one event is hoping to make a positive impact on scores of families this Christmas. Lisa Lord has the details.
It's being billed as a night to remember, and the excitement is building ahead of Soca Goes Gold 3, which comes off tomorrow at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre. We caught up with the band during rehearsals at Ocean Park. Among the big acts, David Rudder, Crazy, Lord Nelson, iWeb, TC, Classic, and the Mighty Gabby. The event is being hosted by the Eden Lodge Youth Charitable Trust. President Dwayne Grisette says the proceeds will be going to their annual Christmas program.
This is about the children at Christmas time, and with those children being able to get a gift. The families are able to get food, a ham, and those things, right? And this year, we're going to be also putting a local ham, a locally produced ham, but the local manufacturers for kilometers on their tables as well.
And if you are unable to attend the event, there's still ways to donate.
I hope that people out there, right, that who have not contributed by purchasing a ticket or contribute by putting some of the infrastructure in place, come out and make a contribution to these families, because you're going to put a smile on some children and some families' face this Christmas season.
Lord Nelson is promising a very good show.
Folks, this is not a lie. I will be there. So come and enjoy. Like they say, Lord Nelson tells the truth. See you when I see you.
The event is being held under the patronage of Culture Minister John King, who is also expected to perform. Lisa Lord, CBC News.
The local journalistic fraternity is mourning the loss of a long-standing member. Dead is 46-year-old Antonio Miller, a former news photographer with the Nation Publishing Company and later the Government Information Service. Reports are that he died after suffering a brief illness. Public Relations Officer for BARJAM, the Barbados Association of Journalists and Media Workers, Deandra Roberts, notes that Miller was a fearless media practitioner and this would be a tragic loss for the industry.